Well, I guess it's everybody has a different opinion on that, right?
Yeah.
I think Elon Musk didn't like Silicon Valley when it first was on, like the first season. I know he was sort of a critic, and
God,
I don't know. It's not.
I love it.
There's always people who don't like things, but
Right.
I didn't know that about Bill Atkinson. That's interesting.
I didn't either. We just had him on this show, and I said, "Oh, I'm so excited! Silicon Valley's coming back." He said, "Yeah, I don't watch that show. It's insulting." I said, "Oh." He may not have seen it either. I mean, he may not. You know how that is. Sometimes people form an opinion from something they heard and then said,
or a trailer or something.
Right,
I mean, it is sort of like the stereotypical five guys with no social skills and they can't meet girls.
If you
that
invented
kind of
the
stuff, right?
Macintosh, you have the right to say anything you want.
Yeah.
And I just go, yes, sir, you're right.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I am totally with you on that. I feel that way about Woz. Woz
Same
can
thing.
say
anything
whatever he wants.
And I just go right on, Woz. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad. I've been wanting to get you on for ages.
Really?
And I wish you were. Yeah, he says, because he didn't know that. We got to get this guy on TWiT. He wanted to be on TWiT. I met you at the Moto X reveal 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, I remember that. They had that nice
I love
dinner.
this guy. We're twinsies.
Yeah, because you're a New England guy, right?
New Englander,
Providence guy.
same age, grew up covering the tech industry, very similar, except you're talented and funny, and I'm just some old hack. But other than that,
oh, please now look at this. Look at the empire you've built up there.
my empire. Welcome to my. It's easy to build an empire when you're in Petaluma, California.
Well,
it's like saying, "Yeah, I have an empire in Worcester." It's not. It's not quite the same.
You even say it right.
Oh, of course, I say Worcester right. But Dan, I want to call you on something because your accent is definitely not as strong as it was. Are you?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
When, like from 2 years ago?
Yeah, it was much stronger.
Oh, I was hearing it there.
It comes out a little bit. You're like Paul Thurrott, who he lives in Dedham. And every once in a while, he says something like, "Oh, it was wicked smart." And I go, "Oh, there's the Dedham boy coming out."
I grew up with a really thick Merrimack Valley accent,
Oh, really? that's different then.
Yeah, really, really pretty ugly accent. And then it does go in and out. I was on Terry Gross recently, and I said, I didn't even know it, but I was talking about Mark Zuckerberg, and I said he's really smart. Mark's really smart. You gotta say about him. He's really smart. But it goes in and out. Like my wife's from Cleveland. She doesn't have this accent. My kids don't really have it, which is weird because they go to school here. But in our town, it's become a thing around Boston. It's not seen as a good thing to have a Boston accent.
And it's a sad state of affairs, in my opinion.
Did you have like a Providence accent growing up?
I never really did. I don't know why not. My mom says, I'm going to take in the wash. And there are a few things, like I say roof and orange.
Oh, you do?
I say orange. I don't say orange. And I thought it was very weird when I came to California. Everybody says orange. And I've gotten really...
Orange, yeah.
Orange. It's an orange.
Well, what do you call it when you go down? If you're on the first floor of your house...
Yeah.
Right?
You go downstairs.
And but you're going to go down to the room that's underground in the house. What do you call it?
Well, you want me to say cellar.
You don't say you're going to say you go down cellar.
Go to the cellar.
You don't even say I'm going down to the cellar. You say I'm going down cellar. Yeah. Right? Did you grow up saying that? Like that's what that was the thing.
Because Providence, is a region of its own. I mean, we have like the water fountains in schools are called bubblers. And
yeah, we had that. Bubblers,
you had bubblers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then they call milkshakes a cabinet.
A what?
A cabinet.
A cabinet?
A cabinet, which is weird.
We didn't have that. We had fraps though.
Fraps. You call them fraps. We call them cabinets. And it's a funny thing. You cross the border from Providence to Boston, which is literally the distance to San Francisco. I mean, it's an hour. It's not a long drive.
No. Yeah.
New world.
A cabinet is a milkshake?
Cabinet, yeah.
I've never heard that
one. And you guys don't have coffee milk, I don't think. We have.
I don't know what coffee milk is.
Yeah, see, there's a whole thing in Providence.
Is that milk with coffee in it?
It's you buy this. Now there's two brands. There's Eclipse, and there's I can't remember. But see, and you're one or the other, and it's like Bosco, but it's coffee flavored. And you put it in your milk. It's coffee milk.
You put it in your milk.
It's coffee milk. It's Bosco. It's coffee.
Like chocolate milk, Bosco. Only it's coffee flavored. Oh, really? No, we didn't have that. Yeah.
That's a real Rhode Island thing.
How about this? The stuff that you put in your coffee that isn't
Crema.
milk. It's no, well, it's thicker than milk. But it's not quite cream. It's part cream, part milk. What do you call that?
Half and half.
See, you say that. You don't say half and half.
Half and half.
From here, you say half and half.
See,
Like
I
my
got rid
dad
of
says
half and half. I got rid of all that stuff. I can't be
the
saying
half
that.
and the cough and the bath.
and
You
the
don't
half.
bath. See, my dad's lived in Ireland for, God, 30 years, say. He moved over there as
Wow.
and retired there. But he still has the thickest Boston accent. He says cough and half and bath.
I love that.
It's a good accent. Sometimes it's a good accent. But yeah.
We have friends who live in Manchester by the sea.
Oh, yeah. There's no accent there.
They're well, no, there is, but it's very patrician. It's very Beacon Hill. It's beautiful.
How do they sound?
Well, they sound like Kennedys.
Yeah. Right.
And it's so it's very. It almost sounds English. It almost sounds British.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Very,
I lived in Michigan for a while, for like 7 years, and people used to say to me, "Oh, you have kind of a Kennedy accent." I say, No. I'm from the Merrimack Valley. It's about as far from a Kennedy accent as you can get. But
what is it? The Lowells the Lowells speak to the Cabots and speak to the Cabots, and the Cabots only speak to God. Something like that. I can't remember
so Bean and the Cod, where the Lowells speak to Cabots and the Cabots speak to God. So something like that, right? Yeah. That's the old poem about Boston. Yeah. See, now you're getting homesick.
I am. I love New England.
Want to move back? You do?
Oh, well,
Yeah.
Notice I've never left California. Once we moved to California, I went to California when I was in 10th grade. So once we moved here, I was like it. My mom and sister still moved back to Cranston.
Did they really?
Yeah, which is, I think, strange.
From Northern California?
They moved from Santa Cruz to Cranston.
Wowza. See, I had friends who lived here. They were Russians. They had moved here from London, and then they moved to Northern California. They said, we're going to be gone just a couple of years. Misha's going to grad school, and then we're coming back. And I was like, no, you're not coming back. Nobody ever comes back. No. Trust me on this. Nobody ever comes back from California.
But there is a cultural thing I miss.
Yeah?
There's something about New England, and one thing I like about New Englanders, and I've made my way here, is we really don't like people particularly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's definitely true.
Californians will say hi. It was the strangest thing. You're walking down the street, they go, hey, how you doing? I'm walking in today. Somebody's waving at me from the car. It's like, I don't know you.
Yeah.
I don't want to know you. Go away.
Yeah,
But that's Californian. And in
when
New
I was
England,
young,
you
and I
don't.
first started. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Oh, you go ahead.
No, when I was going to say, when I first started going to San Francisco when I was in my 20s for work, I remember once I was in an ATM line at an ATM to get cash, and it's like 3 people, and we're waiting, and the guy behind me starts talking to me. I'm like, why is this guy talking to me? It's like, hey, so what's going on? Blah blah blah. How you doing? What are you doing today? I was like, it's nothing. And they's like, you play tennis? I'm like, no, I don't really play tennis. He goes, oh, because I got some friends. We're going to play tennis later.
What?
You might want to come over. I'm like,
I don't know you.
Yeah, who the hell are you? Like, right, and then I thought, I was so paranoid. I thought, like, is this guy going to rob me or something? And then I realized, no, he's just being friendly. It was just,
Being friendly.
I'm used to that now. But yeah, it's jarring when you come here. If you've lived away for a while and you come back here, it is jarring how people are. Even when they're being friendly, like the sense of humor is a little bit aggressive, kind of in your face. You know what I mean? A little bit like taking the
little
taking
angry.
the piss.
Little angry.
Yeah.
You're angry because it snows.
Or the way people drive and just the
Everything.
whole thing. There's a lot of stress. Yeah,
A lot of stress.
There's a lot of stress.
Driving in Boston is terrible.
But you're right about the misogyny, not the misogyny, misanthropy, right?
Right.
Just
Right.
hate people. Like it's a weird. My wife is from Cleveland. She really still can't get used to it here.
No.
She's been here for like 20, 30 years, but she can't get used to
New
it.
Englanders are flinty because it was hard.
Yeah.
It was a hard scrabble life, and we're flinty.
Flinty is a good word. It's flinty. They're flinty people.
It's a perfect word for it.
No, it is. It is. That is exactly the perfect word. They're flinty. They're kind of. And we go up to New Hampshire in the wintertime for skiing, way north.
Flinty.
That's flinty. Those people are flinty. They are flinty. They look like flint. Their faces look like flint. They have hard
Their beaches
faces.
look like flint.
Yeah,
they go to the
yeah,
beach.
yeah.
It's rocks. It's like, what is this?
And the water's like 40 degrees. It's nice. This is refreshing. Like seriously. Yeah, that will make you flinty. I mean, the ocean water here will make you flinty.
So Dan, you see, you have a good microphone. Are you podcasting? Are you doing any podcasting?
You know what? No, I did one many years ago, and I bought this because the guy said, get a Blue Yeti. This
Right.
is like a real microphone,
Yeah,
right?
no,
This
it
is
sounds
pretty
great.
good,
You
isn't
sound
it?
good. So I
Yeah.
would love to have you on some of our shows on a regular basis. Would you be at all
yeah.
interested?
Oh, yeah.
We will pay you. I mean, it's
Oh,
a
really? Oh,
stipend.
even
It's
better.
not big bucks, but we would pay you to do that.
Who's making money out there? Who's making money
We
on this?
make
You
money.
are.
We make a
Yeah,
lot of
you're
money.
making-
We do very
I know.
well.
That's why.
So
We're
we
gonna have
would
him on
we
Twig.
pay people if you're willing to be a
I'd love to
regular.
do. Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah.
So I'm thinking, Jason.
Yeah.
I'll
I
talk
need a
to I'll
better
talk to
background,
my.
right? Don't I need a sort of like a green screen? or
No,
something?
you look great. That's perfect.
Sean
Really?
looks
I'm
great.
thinking Twig, Jason.
Yeah, that's no. He was. We had originally booked Dan for Twig like a couple of months
I'm
ago,
thinking
but there was some
Twig.
stuff going on, and
Twig. Yeah, that's the week in Google.
This
Yeah,
week at Google
with
with
Jeff
Jeff Jarvis. I think you guys would be great together. Jeff's a New Yorker.
The real Jeff Jarvis, not the
Not
the-
Professor Jeff Jarvis, the real Jeff Jarvis.
He freaked out about that, man.
Well, wouldn't you? Wait a minute. Wait, if somebody wrote an article for Esquire that said Dan Lyons as the byline, wouldn't that piss you off?
I'm in an awkward spot here, considering my
I know,
background.
fake Steve
But,
Jobs.
You know,
but you
but,
always were fake Steve Jobs. There was never any question. You didn't say Steve Jobs blog.
No. Well, at the beginning, yeah, but you're right.
You didn't
originally-
pay. Everyone knew it was a parody.
Some people at the very beginning, people didn't, and they would write to me asking for like product
Oh, that's
features and
hysterical.
tech support, and I would tell them I'll get right on it. But it's true. It's true. Like, it was the best thing in the early days.
You were nice, Steve Jobs.
I was always saying, look, I'm just one guy, but even though it's my company, I can't just add that feature to the thing. But I you know what? I have a lot of influence. But I get it. I met Jeff Jarvis at DLD in Munich in January, just briefly.
Yeah.
He told me I was looking for a place to go have breakfast, and he pointed me at a place, and we didn't hang out. But
I think
yeah.
you'll like him. I think he'll like you. Although,
Yeah.
for some
No, maybe-
reason, and you don't have to say anything about this.
No.
There is one enemy in tech journalism
Jesus
that you made, and
What
this
one?
guy will not be around you. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about.
I do know who you. Well, I know two, but
I don't know the other one.
I'm not guessing.
But it's like I'm going. What do you got against this guy? He's great.
Oh, that's I know.
It must
that.
be just a thing that happened because, I mean, if I had to pick between the two of you, I'd pick you, Dan. I mean, I don't understand what's the issue.
See,
is.
well, there you go. Tell him that.
I will. I did.
Him that.
I
Assuming
did.
it's
I
a
said,
man.
"What are you talking about?" I said, "I
Assuming
can't
it's a guy.
talk about it."
It's a guy, right?
Yeah, you know who it is. I
Has
don't want
his
to say it out
own-
loud because
his own big tech blog.
right. I don't say it
Yeah,
out
no.
loud because it'll get back to him. But
And his partner is his business partner is a friend of mine, very dear friend, and I know from her that.
did you write something mean or?
Well, I used, right?
Okay.
I mean, I used to write, not mean. I mean, it's one of those things where's the line? There were definitely things in Fake Steve that I wrote that, God, I wish I
If
could
you
take
wrote,
back, right?
if you
I
wrote
really wish I could
anything
take
about me, especially mean, I would be honored.
See, there you go. Well, but I always felt like it was in the guise of Steve Jobs and what he really thinks about so and so. So
Right.
like Fred Vogelstein, who's
Yeah.
a really good guy,
Yeah.
a friend of mine.
Yeah.
One time when Fred was at Wired, I think, Microsoft accidentally emailed to him like their own background file on him.
Oh Jesus!
Right?
Oh my
And,
God!
like Wagner Edson would keep a file in
Yes.
for a reporter.
Yeah,
And so
Dvorak
he
always
published-
said he saw a board where he was on the enemies list. He
Yeah.
he looked in an office and it's like the enemies list and he's on it.
So Fred posted this thing on Wired
Oh, awesome.
or Wired.com saying,
awesome.
this is going to be a big thing. I'm going to expose, here's my file from Microsoft. So I said, in the interest of full disclosure, Apple has one on you too, Fred, and we're going to publish ours. And it was how we can't use bad language on this show, right? But we can,
Yeah.
can we,
You
like,
could-
I had things like, his SAT scores, which were really low. And like, he had never brought a woman to orgasm, right? There were things like that. Like,
Our sources tell us.
Sources tell us this is the Apple backgrounder on Fred Vogelstein, and I think he thought it was hilarious, like he thought it was great, but not everybody likes
It's a
having
humor.
the, you know.
Yeah,
and
not
honestly,
everybody.
there were other ones that weren't so funny. And honestly, there were things, there actually were things I took down because someone would write to me and be like, you know what? Larry Lessig once wrote to me once, and I said, it wasn't even that mean, but it was inaccurate. I said, you know, that's a fair thing. I'll take that down and I'll publish an apology.
Oh,
There's a
wow.
lot of them.
That's nice.
Oh, God, you know.
I love Larry. Larry is a great guy. But I do agree that
I
some
don't
people
know.
take themselves too seriously. And those people are probably very. But in the case of Jeff Jarvis, I think that was a very legitimate thing because Esquire did not really indicate in any way that wasn't him. So
But
that's
their argument was you could tell because the bio was so silly and it had the picture of the Twitter account guy. With
only
the pipe
if you
and
went to
the
his
hat.
Twitter account. It didn't do it on the article.
Oh, it didn't?
No.
Okay. And it was so
No.
absurd. The article was so crazy. But I guess people could get confused.
Are you kidding? Lots of people said to Jeff, what does this mean? and so that's the point is if somebody writes nonsense over your name, you don't want that to. And I think Esquire that's some egg on their face for doing that inappropriately. If they had said the fake Jeff Jarvis, that's different, but they didn't. So I understand,
Yeah.
Jeff. Anyway,
I'd love to meet him. I think
you'd get along great.
point. Yeah, I think there must be, you know, yeah. I read the piece he wrote. It seemed the fake guy wrote. I thought it was pretty funny and over the top. But yeah, I could see Jeff.
I have to say, he was not as trenchant as you are, and I think so. Half sort of funny doesn't cut it if you're going to do that.
Yeah,
you have to really like fake Steve Jobs was like hysterically funny, and so it was obvious.
right.
You can't just because the problem is you're parodying something that is on the verge of parody as it is. So you can't. It's indistinguishable from the real thing. I think if you're not really over the top, is my point.
And the Week in Google is Jeff sort of the host of that show?
No, I
Or
am.
You're the host.
I'm
and
the
Jeff
host. It used to be Jeff and Gina Trapani, the founder of Lifehacker.
Yeah.
Gina got a startup job and had to bow out. She's on once in a while. We have some once in a whiles. Matthew Ingram from Fortune is a wonderful guy. I'm sure you know of and love.
Matthew
so we have
with one T.
Yeah, one T.
One T.
You know who else would be great on that show on a regular basis is Stacey Higginbotham. I wouldn't mind getting her on.
I know.
But I'm looking for a third because normally what we like to do with the show is have 2 or 3 regulars, and then we might rotate in other people. So I want to have somebody who could be. Now that's the issue, and you could say, oh, I could do it every third week or whatever. We could talk about that. I'd love it if every Thursday. It's Wednesdays at 4:30 p.m. your time.
Oh. And is Scoble still on one of your shows or no?
No, he's not a regular. He shows up once in a while. He shows up on that show once in a while. He's
Didn't
fun.
he used to be?
Never, because
No? Oh, he wasn't?
I love Robert. He's an old friend. You know how the truth was he was my chat moderator for years. So
Oh, he was?
That's maybe where you get the association. He was. We were, but on the radio show. So I've known him for years. But Scoble, I could take in small doses. I wouldn't want him on every week. Oh, I know what you're thinking of is the Gilmore Gang. Steve
That was
Gilmore's
it.
show.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
a regular
yeah,
on
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
And we did carry that for a while until Mike Arrington and I got into it, and I finally.
I've seen that clip.
Of course, who hasn't?
The clip of you know.
I got more praise for saying "F you, Mike Arrington" than anything I've done in my entire 40-year career.
Well, I'm not going to touch it, but yeah, okay. But yeah, and it was all about whether you had paid for a phone or something. You were praising some product. And
Yeah, I
whether you
said something
paid
good
for
about the Palm Pre.
Oh, the Palm Pre. Yeah.
And he was pissed because TechCrunch couldn't get a review unit.
Oh, they couldn't?
Apparently not. So he said, "Well, did you pay for that phone, or are you saying good things because they gave it to you?" And that was the biggest insult I've ever heard, especially because.
Well, dude, they give you every phone, don't they? I mean,
yeah. Well, no. Well, this is the funny thing is I have, for some time, probably about 10 years, made a point of buying everything instead of because I don't want to deal with the PR people. And
so you just buy it and say whatever you want. Yeah, throw it out.
It's much easier. Now, in that case, I don't remember. If I can't get it in a reasonable time frame, sometimes we do accept loaners. We had a review show. We'd accept loaners for that. But I almost always buy what I review. I can't remember if I had bought that one or not. But I really felt insulted that he would imply that my positive review was based on the fact that they lent me one. That's like, he should know better than that. Yeah. But that's Mike. Mike had been trolling me on that show for weeks. What he does is he needles you till you blow up. I mean, that's really what he does. Or did.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He's very good at that. Because what he wants is his real meat for the blog was to get people to lose it.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Well, so then everybody would tune in and pay attention.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a Palm Pre story. Do you want to hear a Palm Pre story? So when I was at Newsweek, months before that came out, they called me up. The PR, it was a friend of mine. Now he's become a very, very good friend. But and she had done PR at Apple, and now she'd gone to Palm, and she's like, "Look, we have the iPhone killer. It's coming out. It's going to be huge. Palm is reinvented. It's got a new OS, and we want to give you an exclusive on this, right?" And I said, "Oh, great, that's awesome." And and we said, "But we want the cover of Newsweek." I can't guarantee you the cover of Newsweek. I don't have that kind of juice at Newsweek, right?
Yeah.
But I'd love to do the story and come out in advance and do all the interviews. And so the day it ships, we'll have a big story about how it was made, right? And it may be a cover, maybe it won't, but it'll be a big story. Okay, fine. So I go out there and I meet with it was John Rubinstein, I think, and a bunch of other people, and they were very secretive about it, and they had it like in a box, and they're like, okay, I had to sign all this stuff, and then they showed it to me. Here it is, and they kind of like, oh, don't touch it, just look at it. It was like Spinal Tap. They like, and then they said, okay, all right, let me show you how to turn it on, and they turned it on. It was all very like, oh my God, like wah, like the lights go, and then I look at it and I start looking through it, and I'm scrolling through it, and I realize, oh, here's how the contacts work here. And I look through the contact list, and it's like Katie Barrett, all these other people, and I'm like, wait a minute.
You're talking to
and
these
they're like,
people
and they
too?
said, no, nobody has seen this phone. Okay, nobody has touched. You're the first person to touch one of these phones. Okay, and I realized it's all of Walt Mossberg's contacts.
Oh, jeez, right? He's had it.
And I said, wait a minute, did you give this phone to Walt Mossberg? And they were like, okay, Walt did see it. Okay, so like, I was like, my big exclusive. Walt's already loaded up all of his people on this, and they forgot to erase it from it. So it's still.
God.
And I was like, oh, they were. Anyway, I still wrote a very fine big story about them how they went to CES and unrolled the phone.
But this is the exact reason I don't do NDAs, I don't do embargoes, and I don't do PR stuff. And my point really is, it's different when you're a print journalist because you have lead time. We don't have any lead time. We're live. So I just say, I want to see the shipping product. I'm going to buy the ship. I'm going to have the experience of a consumer buy the shipping product.
Yeah.
And I try to buy it so I get a day of. But that to me is a much more realistic thing. And I don't want to deal with all that. Oh, I don't sign anything.
Do you still even review new phones? I wonder sometimes
every one of them. It's a pain in the
Oh, you do? It's still a thing, huh?
You kind of has to.
Cares the way, maybe it used to be like the iPhone 4 is coming out, and like the new Samsung, and everybody used to wait. Now I feel like there's less excitement about each.
Well,
new
there
phone.
is, because it's now this is evolutionary, but people want to So I do a radio show still, and people want to. That's a very common question: is okay, Galaxy S7 or HTC 10. So I have to get it. It's actually a pain in the butt because A, they're very expensive. I mean, I spend thousands of dollars a month on these things, but B, there isn't at this point much of a difference. In fact, the answer really is, well, get the phone, choose the carrier, get the phone you like. And if you're Android, it's now even split to the point where my advice is, well, okay, so you want Android. If you're a Samsung type and you like how Samsung does it, get the S7. If you're an HTC type, get the HTC 10. Because the differences are so minor. So it is. You're absolutely right. You probably don't need to get every phone, but people expect that of us at this. So I just.
Which phone do you use? What's your daily driver phone?
Well, I got the HTC 10, and I've been using it for the last 5 days to kind of get a sense of it, and it's fine. But the S7 is definitely the best phone out there right now. You're probably an iPhone guy.
No, I'm not.
Good.
I'm a Nexus phone. I have the
Nexus is
this
great.
Nexus 6P, the Huawei phone.
Yeah, I have that too. I like that phone.
It's I don't know if I.
Camera's okay. But I'll tell you what, if you want a great, first of all, this is a beautiful phone. This phone is opulent. It's gold.
Which one is that?
This is the S7 Edge.
Oh yeah.
It's
Edge.
It's got the best screen ever. Now I really like the fingerprint reader on the Galaxy 6P because it's so easy, so natural to use. You can see I was listening to your Fresh Air episode. And I was thinking as I'm listening to it, Dan doesn't sound like Dan. What's this accent he's got? What's this? Where's the Merrimack boy I know and love?
Someone, what? My next door neighbor said the same thing to me. I think I was trying to be.
You were trying to be NPR.
You
started talking. You started saying,
like this.
"Hi, Terry."
Hi.
By the way, I love Terry Gross. She did not do a good interview with you.
Really? I thought it was. I thought
Did
it
you
was
enjoy
good.
it?
We were on the phone.
Okay.
Well, we were on the phone for like 90 minutes.
That's the problem.
And-
they took the wrong 20 minutes.
Oh, really?
That's what she does. You know, they edit it down. But
Yeah.
as you know, you did it.
I always wanted to meet her because I like her show.
Oh, I
man.
love the
like
show.
She
I mean,
interviews people.
I consider her the best interviewer of all time, but she does have a
Yeah.
flaw, and she did it to you really badly.
What's the flaw?
So I'll give you an example. So she asks you, well, were you worried after writing this book that no one would hire you? First of all, I would not ask. I mean, I guess I'd ask that question, but I would have asked it just like that. Hey, are you worried nobody's going to hire you? She goes on a long explanation of what that means, that no one would hire you. And then your answer, so she literally does half a minute.
Yeah.
And then your answer is, yeah, I was worried about that. Your answer was a third of the length of her question. And that's her flaw, by the way, is that she does so much research, and she really wants you to know that she did the research. It's also a problem with a lot of interviewers. After a while, they become the star, and she started to become the star of the show. And so
This is a cartoon that was in the New Yorker about the same week I was interviewed there, and my wife cut it out for me. And it's called "Good Cop, Bad Cop, Terry Gross," and it's two cops and then Terry Gross, and they're all interrogating this bad guy. And the first cop says, "Want some more coffee?" That's the good cop. And the bad cop says, "Listen, we got ways to make you talk." That's the bad cop. And then Terry Gross says, "So what's it like when you're out on the streets and make all these criminal calculations to be able to support a lifestyle you may or may not believe in, though obviously you feel very committed to your partner in this endeavor?" Correct me if I'm reading this wrong, which is exactly the
That's
point you
exactly
made,
what
right?
I'm saying.
She just can't say, yeah. I mean, actually, a lot of people have asked me that question about, don't you think you'll never work again? Or some people didn't even ask it as a question. They would say it like,
Right.
well, so you're dead now, right? You'll
Right.
never work again, and so it's over. How's that for you? I'm like, oh Jesus, well, you put it that way, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
But
thanks.
your answer was appropriate. Yeah, worried about that. But there wasn't much more to say about that. It's hard. You know what? The hard thing, I don't know. I have a different interview style. She's Terry Gross. I'm just me. So she won a long time ago. And she's great. I really love her stuff. But I prefer to have a conversation. We're having a conversation.
Yeah. But she's, anyway, my neighbor said to me, my next door neighbor, because I go over and hang out with her all the time and have coffee, and she said, she was listening to it, and she was texting me while listening, saying, "You don't sound like you." And I think I was kind of controlled and self-conscious. It was early in the morning, and I had the PR person from Hachette, the book publisher, there with me, like watching me through the glass, and like, don't F this up, right? Like
This
we got
is the
Terry
biggest
Gross.
interview you're going to do, my friend.
Well, yeah, basically, like, seriously, like, I went down to New York the night before. I read the book, my own book, the night before again, just so and they were like, you know, because in case she asked me something, I'm like, I don't know, I forget that, you know. And yeah, and the PR person's like, I could tell she's more nervous than I am, just like, don't screw this up. So I think I got very much like, yeah, like in delicious dish mode, you know, like,
yes, Terry, let me tell
with
you.
my sweaty balls, and I was talking to you about my, you know, but I had like you, I think she's an amazing interviewer, and I was really psyched to like quote unquote. But the other funny thing she does, you know, about this is before you start, you're in a studio with headphones on. She's in a different studio, and you can't see each other, right? And you're just talking, and you have an engineer over there going like this, you know, telling you stuff. And she says, "So hi, so look, I don't know if you know anything about the show, but if you like, I could tell you a little bit about it. We're on the radio. It's called Fresh Air, and it's broadcast over, you know, different NPR stations. A daily show. It runs for an hour. Like she explains to you as if you've never heard of her or her show
That's
at
humble.
all.
I like that.
It was very cool. Yeah, it was very. I was like, yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah,
pretty aware of it.
I think yeah, it sounds familiar.
Told her, are you kidding me? Like all my friends in Boston are like waiting to like tune in tomorrow. For this. Are you kidding me? Like,
it's a bucket list interview. It's
yeah, and I guess it's hard to get. I don't know how I got it, but it was she read the book and liked it, I guess, was the thing.
That's awesome.
But yeah, she's
no, it's a huge deal to get on that. It's like writing for the New Yorker, or there's just a few things that are just like,
yeah, I still want to do that.
I know.
Like Ohm Malik does that, you know, right?
I was so pissed when Ohm started writing for that. I thought, how come Ohm gets to write for the New Yorker?
Yeah. Right? And Kara Swisher and Nick Bilton get to write for Vanity Fair. What's that all about? I don't get that.
What the hell?
No.
What the hell?
Know? Yeah. And
You're like me. We're big. We're big on Schadenfreude and FOMO and all.
that's what happens when you're from Rhode Island or Massachusetts.
It
You
is.
get the
It's
chip
New
on your
England.
shoulder. You're like, hey,
Hey,
you know, right?
no one
like,
should
what's
do
wrong
better.
with me?
it's
Well, it's not even that. It's just like, well, yeah, no, I feel like, oh, you overlooked again. You know what I
overlooked
mean?
again. That's it.
It's the accent. That's what it is. The other guys got that, you know. No, I know. You're right. You're right. It's but Ohm's a wonderful writer. I think he's.
Ohm deserves it. Are you kidding?
And he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's another regular we have on as often as we can get him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I think you would be great. I think anyway. Well, I'll have somebody reach out to you and explain how this would work and see if you want to do it. You don't have to say now, but see if you
know
want
that
to do
Ohm is a big shoe fanatic. Do you know that about him?
it. No, really?
Like amazing shoe expert. He is like, yeah, you can ask him anything about shoes.
What?
High-end shoes, expensive shoes. He's
Of
like a
course.
complete freak about shoes, and he knows everything about every shoemaker. Like British
funny is that?
shoemakers, American. Yeah.
Yeah,
Get him on someday. If you want to do a shoe show,
yeah.
Jason Ponton at MIT Tech Review is another one.
Shoe guy?
Shoe and clothing. If you have any ever questions about like bespoke tailoring, Jason Ponton. I'm not making that up.
And look at
It's
us. Look at
Look
us.
at us. We got our blazers
Look at us.
on.
We got our blazers.
Got our blazers. We're looking good. Yeah, I'm in my pajamas underneath this on the ways down.
I'm wearing shoes with flames on them. I don't think Ohm would approve.
No, Ohm would not approve of those. But he might. I don't know. But yeah, ask him about it sometime. He used to.
I had no idea. I knew he was into cameras.
Oh yeah, cameras too.
Yeah, and I mean, I kind of knew this about him, but I didn't know about the shoes because I've never looked at his shoes. I have to.
Aren't you a big camera guy? You are.
Yeah,
right?
I love photography. It's a hobby more than a.
But you know a lot about like the really high end. Nice.
Yeah. We do a lot of that stuff. Yeah.
See, I would love. That's a hobby I would like to get into.
Oh, it's a great hobby.
I know, but yeah.
It's It's a fabulously expensive hobby. I understand.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably true of bespoke tailoring and fine shoes.
Yeah, I had the hi-fi fetish for a while. I went through all the high end like audio stuff and put my wife crazy with that for a while.
Yeah.
And I need a new thing now. It was going to be shoes, but then I thought,
Well, you know
I
what
don't
happened to me? I was the same thing. I wanted to get some Bowers and Wilkins speakers and then look,
yeah.
all this stuff. And then I realized I hear a thing.
Because
I'm old.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, your range of your hearing
Yeah.
range decreases, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And the people who are most fetishizing about audio gear are usually middle-aged guys who can't hear a goddamn thing.
It's the same
right?
guys who drive the sports cars and they have to wear a cap because they're bald. And they go, "Hey, lady, see me? I'm in a Ferrari." And they go, "Yeah, but you're like 72."
Yeah, you're gross. Yeah.
You're gross.
Yeah, the car thing. I also would like a cool car, but I, again, I'm blessed with no money, so it's great. Or
there's certain advantages, and as a New Englander, you really never expected to have any, so it's okay.
Have any money
Yeah.
or cars?
Or cars.
Yeah, I have a Subaru.
Cars, yeah, of course you do, because you're a New Englander,
Yeah,
and it's going to rust out anyway. So why?
Right. Exactly. Why take care of it? Why wash it? That's what my wife says.
It's just going to rust
Like,
out.
you wash it once in a while.
You don't
it
want
through
the fender to fall off. You got to keep.
Not like you have to get out and do anything. You just drive through the car wash. You know, it's pretty easy.
Just kick some of the
$10.
salt off of it.
Yeah, take the salt off the bottom maybe once a year. You know? She's like, seriously, she's I love her.
You realize that we haven't even started the show, and we've wasted all the good material. But I hope
this
you
is-
were recording that, right?